So, if you're listening to this, I should warn you that this episode has some technical problems. We had some recording issues and have a few moments of quite a bit of extra sound that's not supposed to be there. I'll let you know that we figured it out partway through the episode, and so eventually those noises will stop. Usually they come in small bursts, usually no longer than maybe 30 seconds. You might have to skip ahead a little bit if it comes up. I tried editing it out as best I could, but I could only do so much to salvage the episode after the fact. So, apologize for that inconvenience. We did solve the problem, however, so it should not be an issue again.
Well, welcome back.
Are we live?
Yes,
Hello.
we're live.
Hello!
Hello.
It's good to be back.
Don't get that close to the mic. You're gonna kill something.
Howdy.
Okay. So, last time, all you guys successfully jettisoned a box out the hangar, as well as the psychopath murderer who was attached to it. The machete went into the viewport glass, not really glass, type thing that was there. Embedded itself in there. You guys hung out there for a while, took a short rest. Left, checked the engine, because that's why you guys were there, was to get to the engine. Found out that some dubious things were happening aboard the ship. And also found that you need 3 keys to enter the actual chamber that has the engine in it. These 3 keys are carried by the owner of the ship, the lead scientist, and the lead mechanic, engineer of the ship. You know where the owner of the ship, you found out from Hunter, actually, you guys didn't talk to him. You guys went upstairs and then went straight to bed.
Yeah.
Yes.
After stopping by the garden and purchasing some shiny new gear and some sick new wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the golf cart.
Oh yeah, we drove upstairs, right?
You guys drove upstairs. You're in a shopping mall by yourselves, no parents. No authority, no one can stop you.
Hell yeah.
The only thing that could stop us is our own selves with money and lack thereof.
I have literally exactly 0.
Case in point.
But I have really cool armor.
So, as you guys got back to your rooms, the song Blue Moon played over the radio, forcing all of you to pass out. Nade was successful. Nade and Techno were successful in being able to stay up a little bit longer than everyone else. Nade locked their door.
Yeah.
I was already asleep.
You were already asleep. Fish was already asleep. Yes. I think that's where I think we're completely caught up. I don't think I'm missing any smaller details.
I told him that if he left again, I'd be really upset with him. And then
You told Techno.
And then Techno Ace was like,
No ace.
oh yeah, she was always like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So, I rolled earlier to see who we're going to start with, and we're going to start with Austin. All of you guys have some pretty significant dreams this night.
Oh.
You could call them dreams, or you could call them memories. So, Need.
I prefer to call them dreameries.
Yes.
Get out.
Well, I guess the campaign's over.
Can I eat myself out the airlock real quick?
You're asleep.
In my dream?
In your dream?
I dreamed I had a nice nap.
You are dreaming a memory, you assume it to be at least, of you as a child. Maybe 13, 14. You're wearing a large baggy hoodie, and you've got a backpack on, and a large orc is putting something or doing something with the backpack that you're wearing. There seem to be other people in the room. With your adult brain, you understand that this seems to be some sort of like ragtag group of rebels. They all seem to be working on some different things. It's some sort of ragtag group of rebels of some sort. And the orc... Yes, so the orc is preparing a bomb of some sort, and he's showing it to you and explaining what certain things are. And he explains that there's a glass tube that has a metal ball bearing in it that's moving back and forth. And you can see it going left and right, left and right. And he basically explains to you that the ball bearing is keeping the bomb from going off. And if you hear it get jostled around too much, or if it stops, it'll eventually stop. That means the bomb is armed and is going to go off. You nod your head, and he moves around to place it in the backpack behind you. And after zipped up, everybody seems ready to go, and they all get on their gear, and you're brought into a vehicle of some sort, and you're flown over. You don't really bother to look out the window too much. You seem pretty tame. Not like you do now. And you're flown to some sort of public building of some sort. And you're told, okay, now it's your time to shine. You know what to do. And they pat you on your shoulder and open the door, and you walk out and close it. And they take off. So, you're currently standing on a sort of courtyard. There's steps that lead up to the actual building itself. There's plenty of people around. There's security looks moderate, nothing like crazy. Think of it like typical museum level security. You imagine you could probably find other entrances if you looked. You could try to just go in. You could try to sneak in with some people. What does young maid do? Oh, as of note, you can hear the ticking and sliding of the metal ball, the ball bearing.
I'll probably sneak in with a group.
Okay. So you wait for a while, and eventually, like a more or less a school bus of children of different races and different types show up, and you kind of sneak your way in with the large group, and you make your way up to the doors. You go through the first set of detectors. They don't go off, and you're inside the building now. Let me bring out my roll. Okay, yeah, you're inside the main building. There seems to be a bunch of stuff that you're not really interested in. This place is some form of legal building. There's a large central staircase that goes up, and you know that you need to go up there. There's central desk. There's a few guards around. How are you gonna go up there?
Probably try to find a different way up.
Okay. So you go take a look around through some of the other side areas. Nothing immediately comes to your attention that you can see. The one thing, though, that is on your mind is you can still hear the ticking. It's not really a ticking, but it's more of a tapping of the ball bearing moving. You know that if you start to hear it slowing down, that you're running out of time. And you also don't know 100% if anyone else can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no place that you can really get to without any guards. Seems like your best bet is going to be just going up the stairs themselves. So, do you want to try and just go up there, or what?
I am gonna try and go up there, and I assume pens are a thing.
Okay.
I want to time the pen click with the ball bearing.
Okay. So you look around, wait for one of the receptionists to not be looking, and just grab a pen. And you kind of take your time. You're studying the guards moving and timing your clicks of the pen to the ball bearing that you can hear. By the time the coast is clear and you decide to make your way up the stairs, they go up. There's a turn to the right and turn to the left. You turn to the right and immediately go upstairs. At this point, the ball bearing has started to slow down a little bit in its rhythm. It's not quite as fast as it was before. And there's now, you've snuck through different areas of the building. Again, it's a corporate type building. There's offices of different kinds, but eventually you lead yourself to a hallway. There's several doors on your right, several doors on your left, and you down to the end of the hallway. As far as cameras are concerned, you don't notice any. But you do have a sense that you should probably get this done quickly, not just because of the bond, but because of something else.
Mm-hmm.
You move yourself down the hallway, and as you make your way down, there's several doors that you see. None of them are the ones that you're looking for until you reach the end. And there's a large door. You check the handle, and it is unlocked. When you go inside, it seems to be some sort of large office. And you know that this is where you're supposed to plant this bomb. The office seems to be of someone important, although at the time you don't really seem to care.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, the ticking is starting to get slower and slower. You're reaching the point where you kind of need to get this thing off. And you go to take the backpack off, and it won't come off. It's either stuck to you, or something with the straps aren't working. You're having a hard time taking this thing off. You also hear voices of people coming down the hallway. So, what are you doing? Real quick, to give you a lay of the room, large office in the center of it. The back wall has a few windows. They seem to be one-sided, though, so it doesn't look like anybody can really see in. But when you look out, it seems to be some sort of like train station type location where there's vehicles moving in and out of the building and carrying people. This office is probably somewhat important. There is stuff to hide behind if you need to, but you really don't have time for it.
Is there anything sharp on the desk?
An initial look through the desk, you don't see anything obviously sharp. There's no knives or anything like that. If you look for like a letter opener, you don't really use letters anymore.
Yeah. Anything sharp or jagged to try and get through the backpack with.
Okay. After a little while, you start digging through things, and I'm going to roll for it real quick here, whether or not you find something, or unless you want to roll for it. Roll for it, use your stats. Give me a perception.
Oh boy, that's +0. 4.
4. Okay. You start digging through, you start rapidly digging through the desk, opening drawers and everything like that. Nothing's getting this thing off. You can hear the ticking slowing down. Even slower, even slower. Your palms are sweating. You're nervous. This thing is about to go off on your back. So you start going through the cabinets on the shelves, looking for anything. At this point, you're making a ton of noise. Eventually, you start hearing more louder voices down the hallway. Before you're able to find anything, the door opens, and there seems to be some man, an alien of some sort, in a suit, as well as 2 security with him. And there's shout. They come after you. Do you fight? Do you run? What do you try and do?
This is an aid, so I would probably attempt to fight them.
Okay. As you attempt to fight them, you're not enough of a fight for these 2 adults for them not to be able to take you down.
Uh-huh.
You do put up a decent amount of a fight. You are half-orc. You are old enough to hit somebody and make it hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But they take you and they pin you down, and they're taking the backpack off of you. And again, you can still hear it while this is going on. The jostling of the backpack has made it difficult to tell whether or not the ball bearing has stopped. But you surmise with whatever is going on here, it's probably going to go off any second now, and you're probably going to die with it. So they have you down, and they're saying things to you, and you don't even care. Another bit of disconnect between you now and you seemingly back then is the young you on the floor seems content with being dead.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not what you would agree with now. Until the door opens up again, and there's a man. You can't see his face, but you do hear his gun go off. 3 shots, and then you hear silence. You don't hear the ball bearing move. The man seemingly walks over and moves the bomb off of you and picks you up. And as you look at him, he seems to be humanoid for the most part. He has some sort of like chitin on his face. Chitin, however you want to pronounce it. Some sort of carapace-like thing on his face. Horns on top of his head. And his eyes are 2 glowing lights. And it's obvious that he has some sort of technology in him. And he picks you up and says, "Now what are you doing here? Come with me, this is no place for you." And he calmly walks you out of the room. And as you move down the hall, the bomb goes off. You seem to be just far enough away that he drags you into a different room. And the bomb goes off, and you assume that you survive. But the dream ends at this point, or at least this one does. You wake a second time in another memory. This one, you're older, closer to your age that you are now. You're in some sort of residential area. It's raining. You've drove up to a curb of some sort, and a man is in the back of the vehicle. The man is different than the one that you saw before. He is now I forget what they're called, but just straight up bug man.
Sharon?
Yeah. Same thing with the eyes, though. Eyes are kind of punched through. But there's more obvious tech on him. And the man immediately opens up the side of the vehicle, steps out. He's wearing a long coat. He has a weapon with him, and he goes into a building, some sort of home. And you're sitting there waiting for him, in the vehicle. Your opinions of who this person are, you can remember vaguely that you feel... you remember that prior to knowing this person, you felt more or less dead inside, but whoever this person was has changed your outlook on life and has made you long for a type of freedom of not caring about who's around you, not caring about what happens to you, really. Just doing whatever you want, whenever you want. There's a sort of parental care for this person. After a long period of waiting, eventually he comes out. He's carrying something in a bag now. I'd say roughly 20 inches long, more or less. And he gets into the vehicle, closes it, and said we should probably leave. And you drive off. And that's the end of your dreams. Alright. Jesse.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna start with you.
Oh, alright.
Well, continue with him.
Continue. Well, start his.
It's time for my character
Whatever.
development, okay?
Yeah.
Mom said it's my turn.
on character
Look,
development.
God said it's time for my character development, and I'm not gonna be fighting God on this one.
All right. You are in some sort of workshop, garage maybe, and you're looking down. There's a selection of tools in front of you. What would you say is your favorite tool?
A welder.
Welding? Okay. There's like a plasma welder device there. You pick it up, and you turn around, and there is a bug man strapped to a chair, and you walk over and place it on his knee and fire into it. And he immediately starts screaming. And is... You start asking him questions. The guy seems panicked, like he doesn't know what you're talking about. You know that he was there. You know that you remember his face. This is the guy that killed your wife and stole your child.
Oh.
Ah. Okay.
But the way he's talking, he's acting like he's the victim. You start asking him questions about the night that he was there. He says that he wasn't in this body when it happened. What's your second favorite tool?
We'll go with a nail gun.
Let's go with something different.
Oh, okay.
Not a nail gun. This is basically the same thing.
Sure. How about a hammer then?
Okay. You turn around and take your hammer, and you swing into his shoulder. What happens to him happens to him.
Yeah, I got you.
You begin asking him to clarify what does he mean. As he clarifies, you get this information out of him. Certain people can hide information in androids or people with cybernetics installed into them. They can hide different kinds of information, files, stuff like that. They want to not be found. And he was hired by some guy to take some really important information and hold on to it for a week or so. After some more persuasion, he tells you that it was just supposed to be some information that he doesn't know anything about, and after the week was done, he would wake up right where they had left, and everything would be fine. But when he did wake up, he had been missing, or he had been out of his body for months. He woke up in some sort of crazy makeshift hospital. There was blood around, there were some bodies, there looked like there had been some computers. He probably got duped and got himself out of there. Only later to find out that his face was the face of a bunch of different killings that had happened in different residential areas. There seems to be connections that he had now with some sort of cult. People were contacting him. And then eventually the police started to get some information on him, and he went into hiding, or at least what he thought was hiding, before you found him. After a while of seeming that there's no more information that you can get from him, you go over and take a police-issued weapon, and you walk up to him and blow his head out.
Metal.
You seem to grab your belongings and look through his stuff, and you find that he has a receipt for purchase of a flight of some sort. It's not under his name, or at least not under his alleged name. And it's for some ship called the Eternity. And you proceed to leave. And that's where that's gonna end. That's really all you need to get.
That's pretty, hardcore.
Alright. Next.
I'm not upset at that at all.
Fish.
Ace is John Wick.
Yeah.
Right?
Literally.
Fish. You are a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say about 9, 10. You're in some form of ramshackle city.
Okay.
It's dark. There are lights everywhere. People are slumming it.
Yeah.
You and what you assume to be your mom of some sort, same race as you. You're walking down the street, and she's carrying some sort of box with something in it. And you know that you're going to go and see your uncle.
Okay.
Your uncle used to fight in some sort of war that happens years ago on some place called Epsilon Station.
Okay.
You've never seen it, you don't know much about it, you don't care. But you're going to go and see what cool thing your uncle is working on.
Mm-hmm.
When you finally get to the building, the whole area is seemingly a neighborhood of some sort. Everybody knows everybody else there.
Someone with my mom of some sort in a neighborhood of some sort.
In a neighborhood of some sort. I don't want to say too much about it.
Okay.
Half because spoilers, half because I don't. At this stage,
I'm not aware of it.
aren't paying too much attention. Yeah. This is the place you've lived all your life.
Yeah.
You know that there are places that are supposedly better.
Yeah.
You go to your uncle's house, and he's a human.
Okay.
White hair, white beard. He's scarred up. He has a robotic arm, and he doesn't have legs. He's in a wheelchair, a mechanical wheelchair. Mm-hmm. So it's not one of the ones that's got wheels that you would normally have to roll in a standard way, but it is electric.
Yeah.
And your mom has brought him parts for whatever this project is that he's working on. And he goes to a back room to work on it. While it's happening, you sit at the table and your mom prepares you a little bit of food, gives you some privacy so you can eat. Afterwards, when you're finished, you come out, and your uncle comes out and goes, it's finally finished. Why don't you come and take a look? And so brings you back, and there's some sort of spherical mechanical thing there. You don't know what it is.
Okay.
There's a seat in it, and if you had to take your best guess, you'd say it's a car. You ask your grandpa what it is. Uncle. I accidentally said grandpa. Uncle. We can cut that out. We can cut that out. No. And he explains to you that back in his day, he used to fly fighters. You don't know what those are. He explains to you what fighters are. And he has built a simulator. He seemed to have found, at some point, somebody must have bought a used dogfighting simulator that is kind of worthless. And at some point it broke, scrapped it. He found it, and he's been, over time, working on it.
Okay.
And he's finally got it up and running. So he has you sit down in his lap, and he's going to take you on your first flight. It's a magical experience for you. You would say now that it's inaccurate. It's analog simulation of screens and the like. Yeah. There's no full dive element to it. And it's rudimentary, to say the least. But it was the first time that you'd ever been behind the stick of some sort of craft. And you knew from that moment forward that that's what you wanted to do.
I'm a pilot, you know.
Yeah, I'm something of a scientist myself. We'll flash forward a little bit more of you are close to adult age at this point, and you are in someplace else. You're no longer in this spot. You're in someplace that you know. You are in the middle class section of the ship, in the science department lab area. You know that the ship that you were born on, this place that you've known your whole life, the Eternity, doesn't have fighters of any sort. There's no use for them. You're not trained to be a pilot for the actual whole ship itself. Your dreams were crushed. There was no room for wanting to be a pilot on the ship. But over time, you would periodically go down to the slums to work on this flight simulator and slowly make it better, improve on it, modify it, and hone your skills. A few people had recognized your abilities and knew that you were worth keeping around, despite not necessarily having something to utilize your skill set in the best way. So you had been moved to a scientific position. You have a stellar moat with you. And you're miserable. working this kind of job.
The stealth mode's always in black hole mode. You know?
yeah. You're not exactly having the best time. But your dream ends with a call for you to go and meet with Isabel in her office. Okay. All right. I see. I gotta start from the beginning. I came to you initially, way back. Well, maybe you came to me. You were a hacker that was able to get me onto the ship, onto the Eternity here. We were going to work together. You were going to work with, what did you call her? Nade. You were going to work with her to, well, I'm not going to tell you that part. Not yet. More or less, I kind of stirred the pot a little bit here. Got some good old rebels to do their rebel thing. To stand up to the man, you know. Kill a bunch of people. As you do. And then, things may or may not have gotten a little out of hand. Just say. And I was at risk of death. People knew what I looked like and everything like that. So I asked if I could hitchhike in you for a bit. You agreed initially. You had terms. You know, we were supposed to share kind of 50-50 deal here. But I really, really needed to use your body. So I just kind of like shoved you off in the corner. And I had a great time. Don't worry, you're fine.
Okay then.
This is literally just Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah, I've been thinking that the entire time.
I had this character made before Cyberpunk came out. I was so pissed. So, more or less, people started dying. The ship started going down. And we were... What did they say? We were approaching some sort of anomaly in space. Ooh. And I figured it would probably be best to put you... maybe not on ice is the best term, but at the very least get you in a position where if anything were to happen to your body, we wouldn't die. So we went and I hooked us up to a little computer, hooked us up to a little small private area in the ship, and saved us onto the computer. I had it set to run my program when if you woke up, or if, after a certain period of time your body was more willing. And then you didn't wake up for a real long time. And then not that long ago, all of a sudden, boop, you're ready to go. So, for some reason, you loaded up first instead of me. Kind of rude. So I decided I'd just wait, I'd piggyback. You got us back into your body. That's all I gotta say. That's more or less the gist of it. Now, I will say this. It wasn't like this beforehand. Well, with the whole you kind of not gelling well with the rest of you. You're different.
I kind of gathered that.
Like the fleshy bit, all that, it seems to me like it's someone else. Like, I don't know, like you're made out of a different kind of goop.
I'm simply built different.
Yes, exactly. I'm glad you see it my way. So, yeah, I guess we're kind of stuck here until you find some way for us to get off the ship. But to put your conscience at ease, I'll just say this: the people that died on the ship were all bad people. Every single one of them.
Oh, that makes it all good.
It does, doesn't it? I knew we'd have a great time. So, what do you want to do while we wait?
We could play chess.
I like where your head's at, which is currently on a pillow in a bed.
True.
The two of you play chess for a while. I guess I'll say this: Ace, he's smart. He's very smart, especially with things like chess. There is, whenever he shows up visually for you, he's more or less you. Slight changes. But over time, you're able to coax out like a little bit more about him. He seems to be someone who had some sort of cult following, and insisted on what he referred to as liberating people. So that's more or less all you get out of him. So, all of you guys wake up. But this is something that's universal with all of you. In your memories of the dreams that you've all had, you can all remember a type of material at the edge of your vision at all times. Some sort of... The best way to describe it would be like a fabric, but also kind of like jellyfish tendril things. It's that type of thing where it's like you see it out of the corner of your eye, and every time you begin to move to look at it, it's already gone. Like you just catch something leaving your frame of view right when you would notice that it's there. Also, things feel, again, when you try to recollect it, things feel a little bit more vague than normal with dreams. You know how, like, with dreams you can only remember, like, so much about it?
Yeah.
Or, like, you can't read in your dreams and stuff like that. These feel a little bit more, like, hand-wavy, like, and then stuff was happening and things were around you. There's a lot more personal, like, feelings that you have, and then just knowledge that seems to be there wholesale. It's less like you're remembering things as much as it is you now can remember things. And it's like, oh, that was always there. Of course, yeah, how could I possibly have forgotten that? You all have leveled up. You all have access to more skills. Ace has given you more permission to use more of your spells and all that. Yeah, you guys are awake and ready to go.
I'm gonna pop up immediately. Look around. Is Nate awake?
Yeah, all of you wake up pretty much the exact same time.
Is he in the room? In my room?
Yes.
I poke him to make sure he's here.
He's there.
I say, I remembered stuff.
Oh, me too.
You're here.
Hey.
Also, I had a weird dream last night.
Hold on. Before we get into this,
Interesting.
Well, hold on. We'll do two at a time.
Yep.
Here.
Yeah.
We'll do Fish and Nade first, and then we'll get to you guys.
Alright. Before we get into any of this, I get on the comm. Are you still in that room?
I'm talking to you. They're talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And I shut up the comm.
Okay.
Just echoes through both of our calls really loudly. It's like,
Alright.
So, I look. I look around the room. I'm like, we're probably being listened to.
We are?
Probably. I mean, I'm sure there's some way that we can be listened to.
By who?
Our friend. the hunter.
Well, why would we care?
Because I think he may have lied to us.
Oh.
He said he has no records of me or us. I don't know about you, but I was definitely here. I was definitely working on the ship. I was about to meet with that Isabella woman or whatever her name was. Yeah.
All right.
I had some science-y job. I forget what it was.
Yeah. So, the past is the past. Okay, so that was your remembering things?
Yes. I remembered some stuff from when I was a kid with my mother taking me, and I was in a flight simulator.
Oh. Yeah, kid stuff. So don't... Alright, don't freak out. Right?
Right.
That's like a promise we're gonna make right now. I had a couple memories too. And, my kid stuff was also pretty intense. Like that flight simulator probably was, right?
Yeah, it was okay.
Mine involved like explosives and stuff, but they might have been real.
So far, that's not unexpected so far.
Alright. Alright, so I remembered stuff too, and I think some group tried to make me kill myself with an explosive.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah. And then some dude saved me. Right? And then fast forward, and I just was in a vehicle and drove away with him after he left and came back in it. And I have good memories of the dude.
Okay, why would I freak out about that? Why did you want me to stay
I was almost a suicide bomber.
Well, you didn't say it like that, but at the same time, once again, not really that much of a surprise, given...
What does that mean?
I mean, you've done lots of explosives since...
Yeah,
But it wasn't me. The explosive wasn't me.
You've done lots of explosives. Makes it sound like explosives are a drug.
That's because they are.
They're my
grenade.
Yeah.
It's just yours sounds
magical
normal,
string.
and I kind of sound like I was involved in terrorism and might have been, and I am a little freaked out about that, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that it was part of what happened to the ship, but I might have been.
Well, it's possible. I mean, I don't know what I was doing. There's some connection between me and this Isabella woman and me working in the science stuff and me being outside the ship on a spacewalk. And there's this gap in between there. Maybe there was something that happened.
Maybe you were the real terrorist. We don't know.
Maybe the real terrorist was in our hearts all along.
Alright, so...
Sorry, is this going to turn into Among Us where we're suspicious of everyone?
I was really disgruntled as a worker here, so honestly, I think I was ripe for recruitment.
Maybe we were friends before this. Who knows?
Maybe we were both terrorists.
Maybe we're all terrorists.
I
Or
love
maybe we're
how
just...
this conversation's going on completely.
And it's just the two of them sitting in the room.
So here's my plan. I'm gonna try and make a perception check. Is there any cameras around the room?
Go for a perception check.
One.
There are no cameras.
You give a quick look around the room. Nah, you're fine. You're
Right.
pretty sure you checked it 3 or 4 times the other night, maybe.
Right, so here's my plan. That fucker lied to us, huh?
Do you think he's the terrorist?
He lied. Or maybe we are the terrorist and he knows it.
I don't know, maybe.
Anyway, let's go beat his ass.
Now, hold on. I don't know how good of an idea that is.
I mean, here's the thing. Apparently, he only is protected by the little shitty robots, and I can pick them up and throw them.
That's true, but, I mean, he's kind of got useful information and stuff for us at the moment.
Well, I didn't say kill him.
Well, isn't he a robot? Can he really even feel the pain?
Judging by the reactions of the small ones, he can feel fear.
But what if he, like, blows up the ship or something? Or, like, maybe not that. Maybe he'll vent us out an airlock or something if we're fighting against him while we're doing something. Maybe he lied to us about who we were. Maybe he's lying about how much control he has over the ship.
I'll be really close when I start yelling at him. And so if he vents us out, I'll grab him and it'll vent him out too.
Isn't he, like, attached?
Yeah. So I can just, like, hold him and either it attaches and saves me too, or it comes off and he comes with us. Either way, I want to punch this guy!
Well, we all have amnesia. What if he has some form of amnesia too? What if he didn't lie?
I have... God, stop being smart!
I
I mean, apparently I was a scientist.
you got a point there.
I mean, I guess.
With
Yeah.
an intelligence of 9.
Shh, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
You don't have to be smart to be a scientist. You just have to write things down.
Thank you, God.
Alright. I yell at him, and we try to get information out of him, but we don't hurt him.
Okay. What about the other two? Do you think they have memories? They've remembered anything?
I mean, probably. Track record. 2 for 2 right now.
Yeah.
I figured out that Techno is still in the room.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I think everyone heard that.
I need to
You
get
probably didn't even need to do that. You honestly could have just gone, "Hey, are you still there?"
Could have easily
You
yelled.
guys' rooms are right across from each
So we
other.
all heard it 4 times. Well, technically 5 times if we're counting his actual voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. I need
And then
to...
Or her
Hunter
voice.
heard it too.
Yeah.
I need to get my armor on and my gear and maybe a drink.
So, Techno and Ace.
Flashback to us, me poking him to make sure he's here. Okay,
Yeah.
you didn't walk out.
True.
Progress.
You then hear Nade calling over the radio.
Yeah.
Okay. So, out of curiosity, did you, I had the weirdest dream last night, but it wasn't necessarily a dream. It was more like recollection, I guess. I'm not really sure. And I really messed up with dude because apparently he killed my wife and stole my child.
That is pretty heavy.
Yeah. Imagine dreaming it.
Indeed. I had something. It's very vague.
Do androids dream?
I remember that I was a hacker and that I was on the ship for some reason, but it's all very vague.
Oh. I mean, that would explain your aptitude with computers, though.
Yes, I am also half computer.
Well, yes, that's also true.
Nice and racist.
Just like sitting here, Ace is kind of like going from like having that not that memory and having that just come back into his brain is like, oh my god.
Can I go back?
Did I actually do that? I'm like,
What am I doing
Am I
here?
a terrorist?
am I like if am I one of those horrible officers that just brutalized everyone?
Vigilante.
Techno's just like, I have a terrorist in my brain.
Hey, you want to know what's funny? There are 3 people who think they might be terrorists right now, and one who thinks he's Batman.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm a
You're
terrorist.
not wrong.
I think I have a terrorist in my
I thought you were
head.
gonna say, well, I don't think I'm Batman.
Well, I mean,
He pretty much admitted he's a terrorist.
Yes.
More or less.
Yes.
So I
Wait.
pretty much know
He's a
that
cult
he is.
leader / revolutionary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, have we...
Alright, continue with your conversation.
okay, so
If you even are continuing with it.
I'm gonna go ahead and start getting my gear on, but Hunter, I wonder if Hunter has more answers for us. If we also remembered some of our past, then maybe the other 2 might as well. So
That seems likely.
we should probably talk to them soon. So let's get, geared up, I guess. Oh, I checked my timer that I set for the
The
music.
music played before the 2-day mark. This would be the day that it would normally happen on.
Damn. So it looks like it's random. I'll reset it and set it for a shorter time, like a
Okay.
day.
Day and a half.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining we go to meet them, and we're like, hey guys, we remember things. And they're like, hey, yeah, we might be terrorists. What?
That's the name of a sitcom.
Well, Techno Inside is like, well, based on what I've heard, that's not implausible.
Yeah.
But what?
You gotta act surprised.
Yeah. Shocked Pikachu face.
So while we're waiting for them,
Yeah,
we have-
Well, okay, what are you guys doing?
We're getting ready to.
Yeah, we're
we're
getting
going to talk
ready.
with them essentially.
Armor? Did you
Yes.
get armor? Okay. Did you get armor?
I wear
I
white
have second
armor.
skin. So
Okay. Alright.
I'd be like to Nate. Should we keep the whole terrorist thing on the down low and just be vague about it?
I mean,
We were
what are they gonna do about
revolutionaries.
it?
You guys
Yeah,
you
you're
guys
right.
finished well before they are.
If they have a problem with it, I'll just beat them up.
If they have a problem with us maybe being terrorists, I'll beat them up. This is incredible.
this is fantastic. I do not see anything
Like-
wrong with this.
I'm not a terrorist now.
You are an ex.
Our only goal is survival, so you work
You
with
could
what
argue
you
that
got.
for some
Yeah,
terrorists.
And they might be terrorists too.
You're not
It's
wrong.
possible.
Likely, even.
Wow.
So this is it? We some kind of Suicide Squad?
I mean, with how it's been going so far, it would not be a surprise.
Alright. So, do you guys patiently wait?
Yeah, we'll wait for them
Yeah.
to.
Right.
I'm gonna jump straight to the point. Fish, Nate, did you guys have any dreams or maybe memories that you had last night?
Alright, I think this will go a whole hell of a lot better if you tell us what happened in yours first.
All right. Well, I was definitely a cop at one point.
I look directly at Nate.
Yeah, we both just look at each other.
And I say was because the memory I had is me brutally interrogating a bug of some kind, Charon, I think. That's what the race is called. And I took a welding torch to his knee. I took a hammer to his shoulder to give me information about someone.
Where is she?
Okay.
Because this person, I knew his face well because he killed my wife and stole my child.
So,
Yeah,
It might-
just to clarify, the person that you shot in that room, that was the face that you remember
Mhm.
that did this.
Yes.
So just clarifying.
Yeah.
our theory might be...
Okay.
We might be onto something. Hold on, wait. You next.
Well, my memories are vague. I remember that I am a hacker and that I was on this ship for some reason, though I do not recall any specifics.
Ace is standing behind Nid. And 2 thumbs up.
I mean, hacker, usually associated with bad people. Torturer, ex-cop, plays by his own rules.
Plays by himself.
Pretty metal. Then we got. So, do you want to describe yours shit first or me?
I'm pilot. I'm fly.
I'm fly. Is you're hiding in your pillow fort?
So, you go next. I'll go last. 'Cause
Okay. Well, I might be a fucking terrorist.
Ace, my Ace, unfortunately just says, yeah, that's not a surprise.
Why does everybody keep saying that about me? Yeah. I apologized to you when we first met. Terrorists don't apologize. Anyway, when I was a child, apparently a bunch of orcs had me for something.
It wasn't a bunch of orcs. It was just one orc. There was other people there.
There was a bunch of people had me for some purpose. Put a bomb on my back, told me to go to some place. I snuck in there pretty fucking good, mind everybody. I was like stealthy as fuck.
That surprises me.
I impressed even
I know,
myself. Anyway, I get in there. Backpack doesn't come off. I'm pretty sure they tried to fucking murder me. So then, people came, tried to grab me. Some dude came, killed them all, saved me, and then it fast forwards a little bit after that. And the dude that saved me, I have good raised by memories of him. He's got that parent vibe. And then, like, I drive into a place and then we drive away.
Strong parent vibe.
And, yeah, so, like, I might be a terrorist. You might be a terrorist. You might be a terrorist. And then, Fish.
I used to work here.
Oh.
Wait, you used to work here? I thought Hunter said that he had no idea who you were.
Which is why we're gonna beat him up.
Okay.
Wait.
So,
We're not
that
gonna
Isabella
be-
person,
Yeah.
I remember going to meet her. I was a scientist here. I worked in the science division down where we were at before we went to the mall.
Okay.
Where the guy was, that's where I worked in those offices. And
That's why you had that strong connection to before, because before you had this memory, you knew this area.
I'm from this ship. I grew up here.
Okay.
I had memories of when I was a kid, and I had a flight simulator that I learned how to fly on, and yeah, so I wasn't happy with it. I know that. So just to kind of stay in the whole
Well, I mean,
terrorist thing, I was
Just to be included with you.
I want to be a terrorist too.
I was the type of person that would be recruited for something like that. I think.
okay.
I need to stop
I mean,
squishing the balls,
that's-
making weird noises.
Sure.
I mean, that is weird that because you are from the Eternity, so he should have memory of you. Unless, because of what's been happening with the blackout, he can't access those certain files. But anyway, we need to find more information. We need to figure out where the keys are. I believe, if I remember correctly, he said that Isabel Chapman, I think is her name, right?
He had said that to Fish. He said to Fish that Isabel Chapman did have a room up here, but she wasn't here often, and that to just kind of be careful with snooping around with her stuff, because she kind of went overboard with a lot of things.
So only he knows that, then.
I believe Fish told the group.
I think so. I
Yeah.
don't know if I actually said anything, but specifically, but no. Yeah,
We'll
I'll
just
mention
say
now.
that we will now.
Hey,
Anyway.
Yeah.
Isabel Chapman's room is here in this floor.
Well, we need...
You've been in it all along.
Oh my gosh, that would be such a 180. Okay, we need to find these keys, so I suggest we look in her room.
Alright.
He warned us to be careful, right?
Yes.
Alright, let's...
I want to
let's not bust open the door, and let's not break any little robots or anything. Just
I want to go yell at Hunter first.
So, what are you guys doing?
go in and talk to Hunter.
Okay.
Hunter.
I have to get ready.
To the-
Here's the question.
To the
Yes.
golf cart.
Is the door into the cockpit wide enough that my
Yes.
car can fit through?
Yes. Actually, yeah. You guys noticed this earlier? The hallways through this area are large enough to fit not a ton of vehicles, but like one vehicle. You guys could fit maybe enough room to have like the robots.
It's like the ship in Wall-E.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have a whole lot of room to mess up, but also if you don't gun it, you can pretty safely.
Okay. I'll safely
All right.
drive there and drive in. I'm
Okay.
going to basically spend as much time in the driver's seat as possible.
Okay.
You know, as I leave, I'm going to do the 500-point turn.
You pull up to the door and it doesn't open at first, and you're sitting there, and then you hit the little horn, and then eventually the door opens to the cockpit. Hunter is sitting there. Well, not sitting there. He's standing over one of the benches, keeping an eye on the different samples that he's taking from you guys. As you come in, oh, good, you're all here.
Yep, explanation time. You remember anything? You got any new files or memories?
One moment. No.
No, suspicious.
What happened?
We've gotten some memories back.
Good. Tell me.
I used to work here.
He tilts his head to the side. He has no expression, so I can't.
I was in the science division. I have memories of going to the office of Isabella Chapman.
That doesn't make any sense, though. We looked for your DNA on the ship. You weren't on record. Your DNA wasn't on record.
Well, apparently you're fucked up. Because she apparently was here, he apparently was here.
Me as in techno.
Did you describe, all the memory?
What do you mean?
The pamphlet
The
that
pamphlet
mentions
for the eternity?
Yeah, I mentioned the pamphlet before.
Right.
Okay.
He apparently had reason to come here, and just by process of elimination, I think I was here too at some point.
An amazing
Deduction
deduction
skills.
there. Yes, all four of you are apparently on this ship.
Elementary, my dear Hunter.
I don't know what to tell you. Personally, I don't know any of you. I've never met you. I've never talked to you before. When you came to me, the first thing I wanted to do was see if all of you were already on the ship. In the computers. And you weren't. That's why all of you had to put in your names and scan in your DNA.
Could it be because of the blackout that the information for Fish got deleted, destroyed, somehow? Corrupted even?
If so, I wouldn't know.
Wait, he's a hacker.
Who's a hacker?
I am.
Techno.
Okay.
And something we didn't mention right at the beginning.
Explain to me what all of you remember.
Okay, I'm gonna give
How in detail do you guys go?
Nate is gonna give a look to Fish should we tell this fucking
I'm
dude?
not going to say how I felt about it, but I'm going to explain, grew up on the ship,
Okay.
flight simulator, wanted to fly but couldn't, got put in the science division.
Okay.
And last memory I have is on my way to Isabella Chapman's office.
Okay. As you're explaining that, he goes over to one of the computers and sits down, and he doesn't really interact with them in the same way. So he just kind of sits there and is obviously computing. He's checking through files.
Processing.
When he finishes, he's saying that okay, there's at least 14 girls that could be what you described. People were born on the ship all the time. I'm less concerned now about that, and I'm more concerned about why you weren't in the ship's database. Either...
I
Go ahead.
might... No.
No?
If
If it's
There's a
something
whole-
really, really personal, and if it's not very important to our survival, I don't want to push you to be uncomfortable here.
I mean, I have an explanation, but
For...
I don't know if I want to tell you.
Why am I all of a sudden the bad guy here?
Hey, I'm not treating you
That's,
with any disrespect.
pretty
I
funny.
have been stranded
This
on
one.
this ship for a long time, alone.
Because bad guy is not the way that pretty much anybody looking into the situation would describe you as. Given my explanation of why we aren't in the ship systems.
Do you think it's Techno? Do you think he removed you from the ship systems?
It was pretty possible. I mean, he's a hacker. Where none of us are in the system, and
I mean,
yeah.
I've mentioned,
I suppose it's possible, but what reason would I have to do this?
I've mentioned this before, but I don't have 100% access to the whole ship.
But why would we be secret people on the ship?
Well, judging from what you told me when you woke up, I have a feeling you could have been a stowaway. Mr. Ace, when you woke up, you were technically not even aboard the ship. You were on one of the smaller ships that get sent down onto planets. The Eternity's too large to actually go into a planet's atmosphere.
yeah.
So you were aboard that. You most likely were, I guess, on your way to boarding. Mr. Techno, if you were a hacker, I suppose anything's possible. And Miss Fish, if you were born on the ship and served on here, most certainly your DNA would be saved within the ship's databanks, and I doubt, not to insult your skills or anything, but I doubt any one hacker could specifically delete your being here on the ship. I do have a theory.
Well, I have one question. I don't remember this exactly, but Fishwood, the name that was on
The suit.
the suit, is that among that list that fits that criteria that he just
Okay, so the name was Trilly.
Truly, yeah. Truly Eternity. Is that in the list of people that fit the criteria that I
He sits down for a moment, or he's still sitting actually. Doesn't sit down again.
He stands up and sits down.
Yeah.
He does the NPC thing, gets back up, sits back down, gets back up, sits back down.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't born in the slums, and she didn't work on the. She didn't work in the science division. Only a few people had access to the suits that were technically theirs, but I believe sometimes they were shared between people.
Mhm.
If somebody needed to go on a spacewalk for some unknown reason, or some reason whatsoever, I believe you could have been in that suit purely because it agreed with your race.
makes sense.
Because if you remember, you didn't feel anything when you read the name. You didn't remember anything.
Yeah.
It didn't speak to you.
Fish, can I just yell out all the information I know at least about myself? Because I'm honestly getting just progressively more pissed off, and if he's going to do something bad to me at least, I could probably just kill him.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
I'll have
Just
you know.
say what you gotta say.
Alright,
yes.
I might be a fucking terrorist.
That's not a big surprise.
What?
I love it. I love it so much.
You're lucky that I was told by multiple people not to punch you, because I would. Everybody said this about me. I'm not. Fuck you guys.
Well,
Nate was voted most likely to be a terrorist in high school.
I'm sorry I've upset you.
Everyone's upset me.
But I have no reason whatsoever to harm any of you, considering that the four of you are my best bet of not just completely being destroyed. I have no way of fixing the ship without you. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's kind of a leash here.
There's a lot of information that we don't have, and a lot of things that are not as they seem.
Okay,
And
I have some theories.
Please share them,
One
Hunter.
in particular.
Here's the thing, too. We don't know if you're as you seem either. I want to hear your theories, and I want to trust you, but I don't know if we can. Just as I don't know if I can even trust myself.
Okay, I
want
follow your
to
logic.
argue that one. You proved yourself dependable to this group so far.
For now, what if, like, Space Dad is like, hey, I need you to shoot all your friends?
I believe
don't
you
think that's
yourself
his guess.
said that it doesn't matter who you were.
That's true. But still.
That was before I knew I was a terrorist, man.
I know I can trust me, and it doesn't matter who, we were before. That's true. But, like, we don't know who you were or are. I don't know who everyone here is or were.
Nate,
I don't know a lot of
So you
things.
said you had a theory, right?
I do. Come over here. I've been doing some more research on the DNA samples that you all gave.
yes, please. I'm kind of curious about this myself.
Does our blood dance?
Well, first off, yes, it reacted again to the song. It didn't dance.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
But I decided to do some comparing and contrasting with other known magical types that were aboard the ship. For one, I can say it doesn't seem like a spell has been cast on any of you, to my knowledge at least. But you are reacting to magic. You passing out seems to be magical in nature. This we've known. Here, let me show you this. And he brings up onto a screen two images. One of just a basic showcase of what is your race name?
Kasatha.
Kasatha, yeah. Kasatha, and then he brings up Fish's DNA to compare. So, everybody, real quick, if you guys want to make either a straight intelligence check if you want to, or you could do
Life science?
I would say life science.
I got 14.
Or medicine. Actually, yeah, medicine.
I'll do a medicine check.
Medicine or life
18.
science.
Okay. Well, I will do life science because I have a
18.
+8.
Hey, guys.
So that's 20. 30-20.
Okay.
13.
If Techno is a android, can we turn off his ears when the music comes on?
I think that would... Well...
It's a magical effect, though.
Yeah, I don't know if...
your cells are reacting to it, so
Yeah.
most
It's not
likely
just
it's not
sound.
purely an auditory thing.
Can we turn the cell's ears off, too?
That's a very Nade question to ask. Well, are any of your ears robotic?
I don't know, are they? You tell me, God.
You're the one who created the character, man.
We'll do half robotic,
Alright.
half organic.
So
Why
we
not?
just need to cut one off.
Okay, so
Bingo.
Fish, you don't really know what you're looking at. Surprisingly enough, you have a feeling this really wasn't your thing.
Is this Nade's blood?
But
In Big Liar's Fish.
you're not. You do know that it's your DNA that you're seeing there, and you're seeing supposedly similar DNA of your race. The rest of you all can very easily tell they're different. And he proceeds to go through, human DNA, Isokai DNA, half-orc DNA. All of your guys' DNA is similar but off. Like there's a spot the difference type scenario here.
So many things do not belong here.
And he shows that, okay, there's something different about all of your DNA. And all of the DNA between the four of you, the things that are different are shared. So it's the difference between what race you are is the commonality between all four of you.
Interesting.
I think that is most likely why you didn't show up in the ship's system. You potentially could have been on board in the system, and at some point something happens to your DNA and it has drastically changed you to the point where the ship no longer recognizes you as you.
A logical conclusion.
That's my only explanation for what's going on with fish. You three, on the other hand, it could be anything. Again, to my knowledge, to my memory, I don't know any of you. But then again, apart from the bridge crew, I never really interacted with anyone else.
It's just interesting that, we all share the same trait. But
yes, it is interesting. It's also interesting that this entire scenario, that the four of you are here now, where you weren't before.
You have said that it seems like to be magic in nature that this is the case. Could magic also be responsible for altering our DNA this way, or?
If so, it would need to be massively powerful to fully transform the physical makeup of you. And that's the thing, is it's not even like a polymorph type scenario where you're mimicking another race or anything like that. Your DNA, for the most part, is correct, but it seems to have been changed just enough, or portions of it aren't fully there.
Could this also have because of this change in our DNA makeup, could that have also been a reason for a blackout in our memories as well?
I mean, supposedly, that could be a myriad of things. Honestly, I'm at a loss. I don't really know. This is, like I said, a theory.
Mm-hmm.
Any amount of evidence could prove this incorrect, but from what I can say, it seems more like all of your DNA has some sort of magical shrapnel to it. I'm going to make a guess and just say that it happened during the blackout.
Okay, well then it's definitely not the blocks, because that got eaten out of space. So
Yes.
it has to be something else.
Oh, wait, you actually got it out, right.
Yes.
Were you able to get to the engine?
Yes, we got to the engine, but unfortunately it's locked by 3 keys.
5.
3.
3?
Yeah, 3.
Where did I get 5 from?
I don't know.
idea.
It's okay. No,
To be fair, it's been a while since.
and
we
also
talked.
to be fair, it's Nate, so...
Yeah.
So along those
I'm
lines,
dumb.
I believe one of the keys will be held by Isabella Chapman. Would you happen to know where her room is, specifically?
Yes. The keys. They were Isabel, Mr. Wilson, and Dixon. I believe they were the ones that had keys for it. Mr. Wilson and Isabel did have rooms up here. Mr. Wilson generally stayed in his room. I can give you directions there. Isabel, I know she had kind of places all over the ship, but this was technically her assigned quarters were here. Hunter provides you with directions, a more clear exact location where they are. Francis Wilson, who's the creator and owner of the ship. His room. Hunter goes, it should be easy enough to access. One moment. Okay, I've unlocked both Isabel's and Mr. Wilson's doors, so you shouldn't have any trouble getting into them. I suppose you'll need to look around and look for the keys. As far as Dixon, to my records, he seems to have been kind of aloof and then seemed to have gone more or less missing before the blip happened. So I can't exactly say where he is. I don't know.
Interesting.
That's bizarre.
Do you?
But he was an engineer, right? So he would have had this.
Yes.
It's probably stands to reason that he might have an area close to engineering.
Yes, most likely.
So
both him and Isabella probably had some places close by.
then I suggest we look up here in Mr. Wilson's chambers and Isabel's, see if we can find anything there. Maybe find more information. If we're lucky, we'll find Mr. Wilson's key and Isabel's, but if not, then we'll look in the work areas where the other two worked.
Are
Very
there
well.
Logical plan.
are there defenses in their room?
No. There's nothing. No traps or anything like that. No turrets or anything like that's going to get you. We at one point we did have larger machines, but we don't have those anymore. And I don't know. There might be one in there that's turned off.
In Isabel's room or Mr. Wilson's room?
Mr. Wilson's room.
That does not fill me with confidence.
You're a Sean Gore. You'll be fine.
All of the robots do require to be connected to the ship, and I mean they were mandatory that they had to be removed or at the very least disconnected. They don't function without a straight connection to the actual ship.
Why were they by mandatory? Was it because they were default? Like they had issues?
No, they weren't.
Defective, I guess, would be the correct word.
Well, let's just say when you're trying to live a happy life with your family aboard a nice ship, the last thing you want to have to worry about is somebody getting mad at you and sending their murder bot after you.
I can see why that would be
We
disconcerting.
received enough complaints about them just existing that it seemed better to deal with.
Well, that's true. It's also true that there's an entire class system on the ship for rich people, for whatever reason.
Yes, that's where most of the complaints came from.
I mean, that's not surprising in the slightest. Alright,
Why is there a class system, though?
that's a lesson for another time.
Well, I can't exactly tell you because I don't really know. It was something with Francis's design.
I hate this fucking ship.
I'm just gonna say that's
so
a poor design. Let's move on.
I'm going to turn the car around.
Okay, did any of you guys get out of the car?
No.
No, I got out to.
I got up
That's
and
a
look at
that's a
the blood
28.
samples.
Okay, yeah, you're able to back out. Are you going fast?
I was going to try to turn around in the...
Oh, in there? There's not enough room for that, man.
Okay.
You can't pull donuts in here.
That was
There's
too
too
funny.
much stuff around. It's not like the
Okay.
size of the room is too small. It's just there's too much stuff around, especially considering that a bunch of science equipment's been brought in. You can back out and go.
I hop back onto the car as it peels out.
You give Hunter the bird. What did I do? Okay, so where are you guys going first?
I want to go to Isabella Chapman's room.
Okay.
Let's go there.
Very well.
Question.
Chapman has a connection to one of our people.
That's true. I wanted to ask, how far away are these rooms actually from each other?
They're decently far.
Okay.
Getting to any specific room more or less seems to be kind of a hassle. Not so much because it's like, oh, this place is designed poorly, but more so just like
There's a lot of walking. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Even with the go kart.
Yeah. So you eventually get to Isabel's room. It seems to be. Yeah. Okay. I don't think anything's coming up on the mic. It seems to be pretty lavish. The door's unlocked when you go in. It seems like this was a place where work didn't go, and so there's nothing immediately like, oh, this is a sciencey place. It's all very living stuff, relatively similar to the rooms that you guys have, or that you guys have claimed. You get the impression that either this place gets cleaned a lot, or she didn't really spend too much time here. But nothing immediately screams to you as being like, "Oh, sciencey." But normal amenities that you would assume that a place would have is there, and then there's a decent amount of like there's a bar, there's a kitchen, there's.
I'm gonna start turning the room upside down, looking for shit.
Yeah, I was going to search the room.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
search
gonna do it violently.
Yep.
I wanted to do it carefully, but
Well,
You have your half, I have mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an 18.
Oh, yeah,
What
perception.
do I add?
18.
Perception?
Yeah, I guess so.
13.
That's still 18
20.
then.
20, 18,
13.
13.
13.
Hey.
Okay. Okay, so as far as what are you guys looking for? The key? What are you looking for?
primarily the key, but also anything that might have information, like
Okay.
written down stuff, something
All right.
that might
You're
have like,
searching a little bit more
personnel
carefully.
records.
As far as the key goes, the search, you find nothing. No keys. There are like key-like things, but then they don't.
You find like a
I'm
key to
looking-
something else. You're
Yeah,
like, it's the
yeah.
key, guys!
I'm
Oh, I
looking
found
for-
it!
Any photos,
for-
any records, that
Yeah.
sort of stuff.
I'm looking for 4 things. 1, key. 2,
There's alcohol
really
on this
nice
list.
alcohol. 3, money or items that are worth money. 4, shit that might tell us more about fish.
The moment you said bar, I'm like, he's gonna raid the bar.
Yeah.
That was not a surprise.
Well, the bar isn't.
Cheap, but yeah.
Yeah, the bar doesn't really seem to be all that
Well
great.
stocked.
Yeah, it seems like it wasn't used all that often, and the stuff that's there is like the most basic things you could find. You could go to any room here and grab a hold of it. Nothing top shelf. As far as the rest of the room goes, again, it seems actually kind of sparse. There's not a whole lot of personal things here, even. The more and more you guys search the room, the more and more you do kind of get the sense that she probably spent little to no time here. But Fish, you carefully searching through stuff do find some information about her. There's some more, what seems to be like history, we'll say, of her. That she was married and had kids, but had a falling out and divorced and left the family to go onto the ship.
Okay.
She's highly decorated for some like cutting edge stuff. You also get some information about the fact that she's obsessed with a particular planet. There's like something that she's like inspired by.
Okay.
She has like near like her bedstand and stuff like that. There's little trinkets and stuff of the planet. I do not have on me the name of the planet.
I want to take one of the trinkets if there's something that there's like a little like what kind of stuff, like a snow globe or
So there's a small statue of an animal.
Okay.
There's pictures of the planet, and then there's a wildlife like book that's in the drawers.
I'll take the wildlife book
Okay.
and one of the pictures of the planet.
Okay. How the heck do you even say this? I think it's Arkland, the name of the planet.
Okay.
And the little statue is of an Arkland gazelle.
Like there was in the garden.
Like there was in the garden. Sure, there's a bookmarked page with some. It's not a normal book. It's sci-fi book.
Yeah. In the tabs, there's a bookmarked page. Yeah.
There's a bookmarked page. There's a saved paragraph or so about the creatures. She seems to revere these things pretty heavily, and they seem to be kind of like an inspiration for her.
Okay.
Do you know much about these? You yourself? Nope. Okay. If you take the time with a little bit of reading of the book, I don't know if you're interested in doing that now.
Not at the moment. I wasn't.
Okay.
I was just going to grab it and take it with.
Then we'll move on. So yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any nothing to steal really. Apart from the book.
I prefer the term scavenge.
You would.
Nothing to loot. I mean, unless you want to take that little statue.
She has it.
No,
Has
she
a
didn't
book.
take a statue.
Oh,
Like that's the only thing I can think of that's interesting.
no, I don't want a statue of a gazelle.
All right,
But I do pull it to see if it's a secret lever.
it's not.
No.
It's like
You pull it and you find the
4 or
entire
5 inches
secrets to
tall.
the campaign.
Yeah, the entire
You pull
ship
a fall.
explodes.
No, he pulls a lever, falls through it, and lands in a lake with an alligator.
Wrong lever!
Oh man, that's a pretty intense bedroom.
I mean,
I'd
from what
You call it
alligator.
intense. I call it kinky.
Oh,
Oh.
I'd wrestle that
where's the
alligator.
movie?
I'd take a level in the original Pathfinder Ranger, and I'd get that as an animal companion.
Interesting. I guess we're gonna move on to.
Yeah, you guys
Wilson's.
don't find anything. I mean,
Okay.
fish found stuff. Or, yeah, 2 things.
Could you imagine if you went to go fight a crocodile and like you're fighting it and you're like, haha, I've beaten you, crocodile, and it opens its mouth and there's like a bomb in it?
That's like a Looney Tunes thing right there.
That makes me think of the
Starts laughing.
the crocodile, Tiki Crocodile from
Yeah.
Peter Pan.
Flashback to the second made childhood memory, and it's her with the crocodile.
She's got
And
a
that's where
little
she got the
plush
idea for
crocodile.
Nice.
That was what her backpack was shaped like. It was a crocodile.
Crikey.
Okay. All right. You guys are done
Mr.
here?
Wilson.
All right. So, you
Willy
guys
Wonka.
go...
No, wait, this is the Snowpiercer sequel from this Willy Wonka, then Snowpiercer, now Eternity. Willy Wonka's alive.
So, Nate has a heart attack.
Oh.
And
Yeah, okay.
unfortunately, none of us are capable of reviving him. How tragic.
Her.
Her.
Okay. So you guys are oh my god, dog. Sit. He's a good boy.
I'm the one with food. I don't know why he's over there.
Because Tom's his favorite. Okay.
Dog, you want fry?
Squid over there.
Food?
Are you gonna give him surprise?
I'm gonna give him fry.
Hey,
Fry.
Quinn, other way. Go to Austin.
Hey, big dummy.
He can't back up. He's
What's happening?
bad at this.
What?
Ooh. Ooh, I'll take that.
No, no,
Alright,
no.
there we go.
He's been appeased.
Sit down.
Well, he's trying.
Quinn, sit. He's so bad at eating things.
Alright, so on our way to Mr. Wilson's
Yes.
luxurious
Mr.
home.
Wilson.
So since this guy is the owner of the whole thing, or the one who just set it up, right?
Yeah.
This is
So
gonna
this
have
is probably like the best room.
When you get there, this room feels like a different place.
Yeah, Nate's gonna go.
Dibs.
No, fuck you. Hey, wait a minute. We're roommates. Yeah.
I feel like we just got like
Dibs.
the
Double dibs.
low end of the stick on this one, Techno.
Yeah.
Gotta be quicker than that.
Watch
How far is this from our room?
A decent drive.
And they're the ones with the car.
Yep.
Which means it's a long walk.
You play by our rules.
Yes, but you know
every time we do anything now, we have to have a commute.
Funny thing is, we're next to the cafeteria, so
Okay, so his room is unlocked.
Okay.
When you go in, it feels like a different place. There's knickknacks all over the place. There's books. There's actual books.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Look at this
How,
hipster.
yeah.
There's
How
like,
eccentric of him.
real high quality like brandy in there and stuff.
Ooh.
Never mind.
There's
Wait, hipster's not an insult.
2 or 3 taxidermied animals. There's robots that are in there that are decommissioned. They're off, including one of the killbots.
Let's take this lad with us.
He seems a bit big, and also when you go up to it, they're kind of like, you know how like when a gun is like no longer a gun or whatever, and they'll like weld a metal rod into the barrel.
Mhm.
They kind of did that with him.
Oh.
He doesn't
So
function.
it's just a
anymore.
shell. It's not.
Yeah, more or less.
Has no.
It's a taxidermied robot.
Still, could
got
you
a plaque.
imagine trying to
Beat
sneak
this in
into
single
our room?
combat barehanded.
Yeah.
Could you imagine though, like somebody trying to come into our rooms to kill us, and they open the door and there's that thing?
Oh, okay.
I just shit myself and leave.
There's pictures of him. He is a very, very old Terran human.
Does he look like a bitch?
Yes. No.
Wow.
He's old, kind of fat. There's plenty of stuff in the room to learn about with him.
Okay.
If you guys have something specific you want to look for, you can make a roll for it. But other than that,
Key.
okay.
Looking for the key primarily, but I am going to take a closer look at the
Ooh.
photos and his looks to see if I recognize.
Yeah.
Key, alcohol, valuables.
Key 9.
15.
15. Okay.
15.
Okay.
17.
Yes, I lost your ball.
Good job. That's now
How?
gone.
Where?
That's now gone forever. It's probably
How?
underneath the chair over here.
It's here somewhere.
Uh-oh.
It's got-
We'll grab it. In a
It's
bit.
fine. It's like a
What did you guys get?
17.
9, 17? Okay. It takes you a little bit to try and find it. There's a lot of stuff.
This is a
here.
big place, apparently.
Yeah, there's it's a large room. You'd say that this room is about twice the size with a few other extra rooms.
Mhm.
Does it have a mini pool?
There's no mini pool,
Jacuzzi?
but there is an entire like spa room thing. You know how like in some like Swedish houses or whatever, there's like a little room that's like a sauna.
Yeah.
This is like a sauna, and then there's also like a standing, like massaging thing. Like you would kind of stand into it and lean back, and it'd massage you. This is like super luxury.
So, I was just kind of joking, but now I do want to move here.
That's completely up to you. There's an old nautical wheel of some alien ship. It's not quite what you would expect. A little different. I'll let your imaginations change it because I don't want to bother with it.
Fair enough.
All right. So, you do find the key over a decent period of time. Ace, you're the one that finds it because you rolled the highest. 'cause you're a good boy.
I tried.
I snitched for. No, okay.
You find
What does he
the
smell like?
You don't want to know.
you find the
What?
key in a hidden
I imagine it would
compartment
just smell like metal
in the desk.
or like plastic.
Which,
or something.
point of note, as your investigation goes, you find the desk itself, which seems to be made out of some wood-like material, is affixed to the floor. You can't move it. But there's like several different controls and stuff under the desk for different things in the room. You know, there's something that like literally like shoves the the opposing chairs like out the room. There's like controls for a bunch of different stuff. There's a fish tank in here with dead fish in it.
Just a color
Yeah,
of my
just a
body
dead you.
just floating in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously didn't get the crew member to feed us fish for him during
Yeah.
missions.
He had a shepherd done.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I found the key in.
So you find the key inside a hidden compartment within the desk itself.
Yeah.
And you do have it. Da-da-da-da. Copyright. So
Fair use.
I open up.
the rest of the room, which is learning a little bit more about this guy.
Mhm.
Okay, so you find that he is a part of the older portion of the ship that was still around when the Eternity stayed within the known systems. He's from Epsilon Station. A decent amount of the original crew are from there.
Okay.
He was good friends with an old captain named Hunter Castleton.
What a name.
Yeah.
Hunter Castleton.
Wait, sorry, wrong name.
Oh.
That's the wrong name. Hunter Castleton's the name of the robot. I have my list of names here.
Oh,
I
okay.
read it wrong. Ulysses Green. That's his name.
Ulysses Green.
That's his name.
That's even better.
You guys have been talking to Hunter Castleton.
I didn't realize he was named Castleton.
Yeah.
That's great.
Everyone seems to have a last name. Because I'm me and I like to give characters last names.
Nothing wrong with that.
He was he seems to dabble in the effects of magic and flight and things like that. He likes to in his early life deal with the idea of using magic while flying. So he does have magical abilities, or he did have magical abilities, I guess. The Eternity was a project that he created after supposedly finding a power source for a ship that does not need any sort of refueling, does not need any sort of real maintenance. It can be completely secluded onto its own in a ship, and it will run forever. And it provides enough power and fuel to the ship as a whole that it can run all the systems of it.
That's
What it,
wow.
it's basically, if a ship has it, apart from something physically hitting it, it will go forever. And so the Eternity's selling point, the goal of it, was that it was supposed to be a luxury cruise that you could get on, sign your family up to, get on and spend the rest of your life and the rest of your family's generations on this ship. They will be there forever in the height of luxury, and that's what was promised. There was enough for people that want a more structured, high society kind of life. There's enough there for people who just want a place to live that is outside the normal planets, that is good enough, we'll say. And there was sold to people this idea that there's also a room for people that want to go out there and take a bit of their own and build something with the community and the like. Which you can surmise eventually became what was referred to as the slums often. The ship initially spent years within the known systems, but eventually that dog. Quinn sit. There you go. But eventually the Eternity moves to flying into more of the outer reaches of space, towards stuff that was known but not officially mapped. And then they proceeded to go out even farther than that, and then even farther than that. And the last time any news or anything about the Eternity, it was on some planet that the people reporting on it don't even know the name of it, but it's out there, so far away from everything, seemingly lost forever from the core systems. He seems to be a relatively proud man, but one thing that comes apparent from looking through this is that he seems to be relatively obsessed with the death of things. He has like a collection of reports of planets during the deaths of these planets. There's history on wars and stuff like that. Medical research about the effects of death on different species and the like. How long do you guys spend here after you get the key?
I would say like we spend a good time because I kind of want to know this guy a little bit more.
Okay.
Because he is the guy who started this whole thing of like with the Eternity. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't vouch for
you guys
this.
are gonna hang out.
If everybody else is like,
I'm like sitting in the car going, hurry it up.
is everybody learning about shit?
Yeah, this is all stuff that you wouldn't even need to roll for. It's just stuff that you could easily find with all the knickknacks and junk that's all over the place.
I imagine Nade isn't like
But it's-
reading it. She's lounging back in a super comfortable chair with like brandy drinking in it. So they're like, "Oh man, he was obsessed with the death of these planets or whatever. Look at all these reports." And he's like, "Yep."
I guess, can I look more for like, will be like a journal of his or something that he
Dear
kept
diary.
something that like kept him in touch because like obviously he was the owner of the ship. Something that he had.
So if you're looking for something specific like that,
Yeah.
go ahead and give me a roll. But Techno, do you stay and like, or how interested are you in learning about this guy?
Neutral. I mean, you think it'd be good to know a little bit, but not really.
I rolled an
Super.
11.
Less interested.
You
than,
don't
Definitely
know
less
anything,
interested in names.
more interested than Nade.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last bit of notable information that you guys get before you're pretty much ready to go is you find that he had it was a big thing that he had picked up Isabel Chapman, this cutting edge scientist, and had brought them onto a project, and it's not widely reported, but some say that the project that she was brought on for was the research of eternal life, to have somebody be able to be on the ship, never die, and last as long as the ship does.
Spooky. That's
For an
actually...
eternity, one might say.
Yes. So, oh, I'm glad I remembered that. There is a bit of a like schedule thing, which when I say recent, I do mean recent to when the blackout happened.
Yeah.
Mm.
There is like a quick schedule thing of the stuff that very recently had been happening. He... You okay there, bud? So, he basically makes a mention that the slums are getting rowdy and that they are... he's getting reports that, as you can imagine, there's some sort of revolution happening where...
Who could have done this?
Yeah, people from the slums are revolting and stealing things and making attacks and stuff like that. Security is trying to handle it the best they can. And
Well, we do know you're from the slums, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's a... essentially a plea to Isabel that he sent to have her leave from her home from the... she had a home by the garden, and he's basically asking her to come back to her assigned quarters so that it's safer for her. And there's a bit of communication back where she is looking for information that was stolen, and that she seems to be completely certain that Dixon stole it. Whatever her research, whatever seemed to have been in her office when you had heard the recording that she made. But it appears that she also has some home near or at the garden.
So that might be where the key is.
Yeah. And that supposedly that's also where she was.
Well, I guess we know our next location is to get back down to the mid-level. So we'll have to find... out of curiosity, is that elevator fixed yet? Or...
No.
Okay,
the elevator's not fixed, but you can go to a different one.
Yeah.
To...
I may as well ask.
As you guys are... I assume you guys are immediately going there?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We're making our way.
Okay.
Making our way downtown.
Alright. None of that.
Did I find any valuables?
Yeah, stuff that you would consider pretty valuable, but we'll just do this to save time. Everything in here is known to be his, and if anyone were to try and sell it, vendors, whether they're privately owned or not, are like not allowed to buy it.
Wow.
Nanomachines.
Basically, if somebody snuck in here and stole his stuff and tried to sell it on any sort of public market there, the law would be on them. And no store is willing to take his stuff. But his stuff is nice. If you're claiming this room, the only thing that might be a little like is all the pictures of him.
I take them down.
Well, you can get to that later.
Yeah. Nate is gonna be like,
if you survive that long.
so Fish, this is definitely our room, right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Claimed
Is
it.
there any rooms near us? Near this room?
Yeah, there's a couple rooms. They've got more distance than normal between them, but yeah, there are.
You
I
guys
guess
should
we're
take
taking
those
the
rooms.
nearest.
Yep.
All right,
Shame.
shame.
We'll take the nearest room, I guess.
Well, that can all be handled
Yeah,
later.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys are on the elevator in your car,
Rock, paper, scissors, anyone?
all of a sudden the ship has a loud creaking to it, and you can feel a slight shifting in weight of things. You know that something's wrong. Something is wrong that's just happened.
Something is wrong.
And Hunter immediately gets on the radio again, and first off asks if everyone's okay. You all are.
What's happening?
he goes, I don't know, but it just happened again. The engine moved again.
Concerning.
Which, if you
Oh,
remember...
that's
yeah.
not good.
That's
Back
not
to the
good.
original good spot?
Doesn't look like it.
Fuck! I hate this shit.
It's the tiniest amount. It is moving the tiniest amount, but if it picks up momentum or if it moves a little bit more, it could send the entire ship spiraling into an explosion of death.
I would like for that not to happen.
Yeah, ditto. We're working on trying to find Isabel's key now. So we gotta get hers and figure out where Dixon was hiding at.
Okay.
Why is this fucking engine growing legs?
Oh gosh, we walk in there as a creature.
Oh god, it's the final
it's a
boss.
mimic.
The
The
engine's
eternity is a mimic!
It's Xenodiva from Monster Hunter.
That'd be funny. Okay. So, he tells you be careful because the garden had like wildlife in it, and I don't know what's happened there.
Hold on. You're telling me with a heavy machine gun and laser axe and shotgun to be scared of a few deer?
Well, there's more than a few deer there, and also,
What'd you fucking put in the garden?
well, let me finish.
Please.
There's wildlife there, typical wildlife, but there is also more than likely stuff that has escaped from what Isabel was doing testing on.
I can understand, Fish. I can understand why you don't like this woman.
That sounds very dubious.
What kind of things was she testing on?
I don't know. Every time that they sent one of the ships down to pick up something from the planet, she made sure that they got some sort of animal. Didn't matter the size, just some sort of animal there, and she would do animal testing. Most of the time they ended up just dying, and we would jettison them out. But it's been a while.
Maybe we're all
Anything could be down
terrorists.
there, so please
Fine.
don't die. If you have to kill anything, by all means kill it.
There's no question about that.
But yes, if you're going to... Okay, none of you guys have, like... I guess you'd be the only one who could really send anything to. When you guys reach the bottom, wait there for a moment. I'm going to send one of the robots down with some useful information. Should be a map to where her home was located, and then a few other places that she had in the area.
Okay.
Understood.
So, after waiting a little bit, one of the little robots comes by.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, you guys are just sitting there, hanging out. One of the robots comes by and provides you guys with a map. 2 locations are of note, really. Most of them seem to just be like kind of researchy areas. One is an actual small house that she had in kind of like a suburban area.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one, which is more so of note, is an actual house in the garden. Which, when you guys were there, you did see that a few people had built homes like in the actual like foresty part of it. But she also seems to have some place there that's like deep in the center of it. So most likely, would probably be a good place to take a look at.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But as you're sitting there ready to go, the radio starts to static, and a song comes on, a familiar one.
I pull over immediately.
You're not driving; you guys are just sitting in the
Oh, okay,
elevator
that's right.
in there.
Well, that's good.
Right.
Oh god, that would be
Everybody-
horrific.
Roll. I keep on forgetting what I used to do this. Yeah, I think it was Constitution.
So fortitude.
Yeah.
That's a 10.
10.
16.
Natural 20 for a 23.
Okay.
Normal 20.
Okay. All right.
Well, at least if we were driving, we'd be pretty good.
What did you get, Ace?
16.
16? Okay. Ace, Nade, and Fish, all of you have 1 round to do something if you'd like to. Techno, you do not make it this time. You've lasted too long.
Alright.
So
Well,
rolls
one
suck,
round or one action to take.
Okay, I realize that this is happening, and I'm going to assume that my timer's not going off.
This is actually happening pretty early compared
Yeah.
to any of the other times.
Alright, that's interesting. I make a note of it, and then I basically...
You've got just enough time to make a note of it before you need to roll again. But hold off on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shut off the vehicle.
Okay.
Is
Don't
there
want to waste gas.
Well, is there a way to lock the door of the elevator?
Oh, the elevator? Not really. It seems kind of open.
Okay.
It's like that elevator from Half-Life 1.
Oh, I suppose someone should tell Hunter about... Well, actually, he's watching our blood. Never mind, he should know.
Everyone's in the vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Is it enclosed or is it open?
The back of it, well, it's open. It's like a golf cart.
Yeah, I assumed it was kind of like that. I wasn't sure exactly, but
Okay, it's like one of the golf carts, but it doesn't have the little roof thing over it.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's open.
Yeah, so it's open top, and then the back is just like a flat
All right.
bed.
I will lay my seat back
Okay.
and position myself so I don't end up like super stiff because I slept at a weird angle when I wake up.
All right. And then
Fair
are you
enough.
going to bother to roll for a second time?
Sure.
Okay.
Just see if I can do it.
I'm going to get out my makeshift electrical mine. I'm going to start trying to make it a proximity mine.
Ooh.
Okay, it's a single action that you can
Okay.
take. So before you need to roll again. So we'll say that you can switch it over, but you don't have it armed yet.
Yeah.
You'll roll if you can want to arm it. So yeah, three of you roll again. Oh, by the way, the little robot is like panicking. He's like, oh, oh, oh.
Shut up!
Slower, 14.
18.
Okay.
21.
21? Okay. Ace, you're out. Fish, you're out.
Ooh.
You barely are able to keep...
Fuck you, not this time! I run out to, like, I'm gonna, like, yell at the robot, like, stay here or you'll blow up! And then I'm gonna put this, like, at the front of the elevator so that something cannot get past this explosive without setting it off to get in the elevator.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna run back.
Alright, so you run down, put it down, run back over, and as you're climbing up, you kind of just slump over onto it, and you're out.
Nice.
And so that's the end of this episode.
All
We've
right.
been having a lot of technical issues, so I'd
Yeah.
like to apologize if things sound weird or if bits need to be cut out. Hopefully, things can be fixed in the next episode, and also apologies for having having to wait. I guess right? They're not gonna have to.
No.
We're on track.
We're on track. Hey, we're on track.
Yay!
Unless things break.
Yeah.
In which case,
Why
we'll
would you say
re-record
that?
this part.
Break more than they already have.
Okay. Does anybody have stuff they would like to say?
Will our heroes make it out? If they're heroes at all? Find out on the next episode of Action Economy.
We're not heroes, we're local amnesiacs, remember?
Local amnesiacs find out they're local terrorists.
So, yes.
Local